everyone. Welcome to California Wildlife Day 2021. We're so glad that you're here. We are so grateful for your participation. I'm Marie Butcher from the Carmel River Watershed Conservancy, and along with my co-leader Jackie Nelson from the Monterey Peninsula Regional Park District and our entire CWD team, we would like to extend a warm welcome to all of you showing up and participating at our first ever all virtual California Wildlife Day. Jackie and I will be your co-hosts for this event, and our respective organizations, CRWC and MPRPD for short, are the partnering organizations bringing you this year's program. We have an amazing core team of 9 individuals who have been working tirelessly and putting in a lot of love and hard work to create this beautiful program for you, along with the help of an incredible team of service learners from CSUMB, Go Otters, and our other volunteers whom you will meet throughout the day, both days. Remember, it's a 2-day program. We're also live streaming this session on our Carmel River Watershed YouTube channel, so check it out. And this is all courtesy of House of 8 Media. Thank you, in the house. California Wildlife Day began as a way to recognize and bring attention to the need for all of us to protect California's diverse wildlife, our ecosystems, and continue to do our part to live in harmony with nature. The inspiration for the day began with a conversation between our co-founders, Beverly Iyer and CRWC Board President Lauren Latondra. He happens to be live in the studio, so I'm going to whip out my mask because we are all COVID safe here, I want you to know. And I'm going to invite him to join me.
Welcome. I'd like to read a few opening remarks from our original founder, Beverly Iyer. Tara, that's her beloved dog and companion, and I are sending you all best wishes for a wonderful California Wildlife Day 2021. We are very excited and happy to reunite and celebrate together with everyone this year's spring equinox, Mother Nature's birthday, a time of hope and renewal and rebirth, a time to recognize and honor our extraordinary beloved wildlife, big and small, roots and all. Enjoy this day, and thank you.
Thanks, Lauren. We are very excited to bring to you this year our theme, Cultivating Resilience in a Changing Climate. We all know we've been challenged and are really learning more and more about resilience. We have an extremely rich program for you with live speakers, pre-recorded sessions by our community partners, and the fact that we are all going virtual has actually allowed us to bring a diversity and a range of activities, and for you to go into much more depth and really connect with our speakers. So on your agenda, which is accessible both on the Whova web or mobile app if you downloaded that, or completely app-free on our CRWC website, you will find all the links you need to enter the live Zoom sessions. And these links will also be dropped in the chat. Live 1 is dedicated to live speakers, our biologists, ecologists, and so much more. Also, we have an amazing student showcase, and our hearts are just so full that you teachers and students have gone to the work of creating some beautiful art, poetry, and science projects that we would love to share with everyone, but on 12 to 12:30 every day. Live 2 is a dedicated channel for activities with kids and workshops and live nature journaling. We have nature journaling both days. We have poetry both days. Amanda Gorman amplified poetry for us on the national stage, and we are bringing that again to you right now with bilingual poetry and poetry workshop. On Live 3, it's our dedicated channel for community partners, which is all of the wonderful environmental organizations that you know so well. And we have the Science in Action series here, so lots of opportunities to engage hands-on, even at home. It's going to be a very interactive experience for you all. And please don't miss the pre-recorded videos, which you can access at any time during the event and which will be archived even post-event for your viewing pleasure. Of course, one of the most important things is that we are honoring this space, this place, and we will have a blessing from Linda Yamane, who is a Rumsen Ohlone wisdom keeper, and that is coming up to you with our pre-recorded remarks from our President Lauren Latondra, Senators John Laird and Monning. So sit back and we're going to enjoy our film. That'll be 12 minutes, and then we will hear from Rafael Payan, the General Manager for the Monterey Peninsula Regional Park District, and then, spoiler, there's some live birds in the studio going to be brought to you soon. So kick back and enjoy the show.
Welcome everyone on behalf of the Carmel River Watershed Conservancy and the Monterey Peninsula Regional Park District, which are co-hosts of this California Wildlife Day virtual celebration. I am Lauren Latondra, President of the Carmel River Watershed Conservancy, whose mission it is to preserve and eventually restore the Carmel River and its watershed back to its former health and beauty. California Wildlife Day is an integral part of our Conservancy's mission, as it is our wildlife that are the markers or indicators of the health of the watershed. With several hundred species of wildlife in California that are listed as either endangered or threatened, it is imperative that we focus our attention and resources on their preservation and to avoid their extinction. Also, watersheds need to have a balance of predators and prey. And if we lose any of our watershed species, that balance could be disrupted and certain species become dangerously overpopulated. This celebration is an annual event on or near the date of the spring equinox. This event today was made possible by the generosity of the originator of the idea for California Wildlife Day, Beverly Eyre, whose inspiring message to all of you is in our program listing. We joined with Beverly to craft a legislative resolution to declare California Wildlife Day as an annual statewide event. And the resolution was authored by State Senator Bill Monning and was passed unanimously by both houses of the California legislature. We welcome you to our virtual celebration, which we hope can be an in-person event in 2022. Thank you very much.
This is Senator John Laird, and it is my pleasure to join you virtually today to celebrate California Wildlife Day. Normally, I would be standing with you and all the people in your region in Garland Park and with exhibits that would help families and people locally understand the role of wildlife in our local area. But this year we're virtual, and yet nevertheless, it is going to be a great event. And it was started by one person on her own that really pushed out, worked with Senator Monning, and has now turned into an annual tradition. And so I know that this is sponsored by the Monterey Regional Park District and the Carmel River Watershed Conservancy as a way to make sure that we understand who we live with in our area in wildlife, and that we celebrate them, and at all ages we learn about them. So congratulations on a wonderful event, and I really look forward to being with you in person when the pandemic passes and we do this event on the equinox in the spring next year. So congratulations, have a wonderful time today.
Hello, I'm former State Senator Bill Monning, and when I represented the 17th State Senate District, I was able to carry Senate Resolution 23 to establish California Wildlife Day that's recognized each and every day of the spring equinox in California. I want to welcome you all to this year's celebration and recognition of State Wildlife Day. I want to particularly thank Lauren Latendre, Marie Butcher, also the Monterey Peninsula Regional Park District, and the Carmel River Watershed Conservancy. To all the leadership, the volunteers, and all of you who gather in recognition this weekend as we recommit ourselves to the protection of the flora and the fauna, not only of the Carmel River watershed, but for the state of California and for our precious planet Earth.
Hi everyone, I'm Marie Butcher with Carmel River Watershed Conservancy. Welcome to California Wildlife Day 2021. We're so glad you found. We have got a lot in store for you. Great programs, activities for the kids, live streams, workshops. So stick around for both days. We've got an amazing lineup.
We would like to commence our program by honoring the indigenous people of this land and hearing from Linda Yamane, a Rumsen Ohlone wisdom keeper.
Mishishtuch imiama in Mishish I Huya Sha 2021 California Wildlife Day. Hello everyone, and welcome to the virtual 2021 California Wildlife Day. Shunyin ka'a richa pisoy Ka'amakai Rumsen. I'm happy to speak in remembrance of my ancestors, the Rumsen people indigenous to this land. I would also like to honor the memory of the neighboring Esalen people. In their day, our Rumsen and Esalen ancestors walked these hills and meadows, streamsides and beaches. They paddled the rivers, lagoons, and ocean shoreline in graceful boats of bundled tule reeds. And through it all, they interacted with the plants and animals and learned from them. Living so close to nature, our ancestors surely knew the land and their animal relatives in ways we can't even begin to fully imagine. Like other California Indian tribes, our old-time stories all feature animal characters from an ancient time before people, when animals ruled the earth, yet also had human characteristics. They went about their lives singing and dancing, cooking acorn, using tools, hunting and fishing, arguing and fighting, problem solving, and doing things we think of as only humans would do today. My Rumsen Ohlone ancestors told rich and wonderful stories of those ancient times, passed down through the generations, all featuring animal characters familiar in the everyday landscape of their time. Utis Oresh Akai tells of two grizzly bears who met together at the Carmel River, and while talking began wondering how big the world is. They decided to settle the question by each going in opposite directions to explore the world, then meeting again at the river to compare experiences. Another of our stories tells of the great flooding of the earth and how Sirch, golden eagle, who was captain in those times, with help from Ummun hummingbird, Kaakaru crow, Shar raven, and Shirker red-tail hawk, brought fire and people back into the world when it was destroyed by the Great Flood. Furthermore, Rumsen families considered themselves to be personally related to specific animals, and because of their kinship, took special interest in the well-being and protection of these animal relatives. People relied on animals, both large and small, for food, but they thanked those animals, whether deer or rabbit or steelhead, for giving their lives so that people could live. When they took birds for special dance or ceremonial regalia, they made a bargain with those birds that their spirits would live on in the beauty and ceremony of the feather headpieces and dance capes, feathered baskets and belts. Native peoples of the past lived in a social and spiritual world that was rich and complex, yet their technologies were sustainable and did not seriously disrupt the balance of the natural world. I'd like to finish with a few words in my native Rimtsin language, asking my grandmothers and grandfathers that their voices be strong in our hearts, that they might be present in spirit to guide us, and promising to keep their memory alive. And then a song. The song I'll sing in closing is not an old song, but a song I composed in our language, in the style and spirit of our old songs. And it simply says, "They were here. Now we are here, and we remember them." Makpapakai in menakai, makol hekchon, mamlul shakai huya makruts simakai. Makol imanu kumakam rote, makr monshem. Inish, kumak un emecht, mak pesoi, mak amakai. Makamash mak pesoi, makamash mak pesoi, makamash mak pesoi, makamash mak pesoi. Arahutirote hikityai aruka, arahutirote hikityai aruka, nehai tuk makrote tyai aruka, nehai tuk makrote tyai aruka, tyai aruka. Makamash mak pesoi, makamash mak pesoi, makamash mak pesoi, makamash mak pesoi.
Shururu, which means thank you in Rumtsin Ohlone language. Thank you, Linda. Thank you for that beautiful blessing. I would like to, we all want to show our honor and respect for the indigenous people and for this land. We are now here at Palo Corona Regional Park, which is where we would normally be welcoming you live. And we are here live, safe distance. And we would like to share this experience to you in a safe way. And at this moment, I would like to introduce Dr. Rafael Payan, who is the General Manager of the Monterey Peninsula Regional Park District. Dr. Rafael Payan became the Executive Director of Monterey Peninsula Regional Park District in 2013. Since 1972, MPRPD has been instrumental in creating 24 parks and open spaces. Rafael has 40 years of experience in the parks and resource conservation sectors, serving as U.S. National Park Service Ranger, as Arizona State Parks Deputy Director, and as Pima County's Arizona National Resources Parks and Recreation Director. Rafael has such an amazing, rich history and expertise. You can read more in his bio. He will be sharing with us now about how this land where we find ourselves came to be open space for all of us to enjoy, and to enjoy safely during the pandemic. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Rafael Payan.
Thank you. Good morning and greetings all. Thank you for inviting us into your homes, into your lives, into your time. I would especially like to thank Marie and Jackie and the Carmel River Watershed Conservancy for making today a possibility. But I'd also like to expand that thanks to our community, to our residents, to our visitors, to other government agencies, to our First Nation peoples, and again, those not-for-profit organizations that make a lot of this possible. Before I jump into the story of Palo Corona Regional Park, I'll share a little story that my grandmother raised us with. When my sister and I were children, she told us that if you listen very carefully to the land, it will teach you how to live right. And part of that living right was that aspect of resiliency. She would tell us, and we have seen it ourselves, that the land bounces back if it's careful, if we protect it from fire and drought and flood. And like those situations that the land suffers, we do too. And again, it's important that we look at ourselves as a resilient being along the land. Because again, the land was happy 10,000 years ago before our first inhabitants came into this area. And it'll probably be very happy 10,000 years after humanity is gone. The fact is, the land can live without us. We cannot live without the land. So again, if we listen very carefully to the land, it will teach us how to live right. The Monterey Peninsula Regional Park District has two really wonderful roles, and we're honored in sharing those roles. One of them is to protect the land and to restore the land. And here at Palo Corona Regional Park, that is exactly what we're doing, and we'll talk about that in a few seconds. Another aspect is also helping heal not only our land, but our societies by having people re-engage with the land, be part of the land, be part of nature. Because again, we're part of nature. We cannot sustain without her. Rancho Cañada Golf Course was acquired by the Park District about 3 years ago. We were very fortunate. We were very fortunate because 300 years ago, ostensibly this landscape was a natural landscape. This landscape that became a golf course and became a park was also a village for Rumsen and other Native American communities. Long after that, this became a farm. And after that, it became a dairy. And even after that, it became a golf course. And we're thankful that it was all of those. Now, some people may wonder, why are you thankful that it was a golf course when that is not a natural landscape? We're so fortunate that it was a golf course and a farm and a dairy and a village, in that it was never developed and entombed under concrete, asphalt, houses, malls, and such. And because of that, we're able to come here and restore this land back to its native health. When we acquired this property, we looked at several different opportunities. We retired about 185 acre-feet of water so that we could help the Carmel River recharge. We looked at the landscape that we have here, and we're hoping to be able to return it back to what it was prior to these modifications. We would like to think that 300 years from now, just like 300 years before today, when you come up what is now Carmel Valley Road, you will see a native landscape, a landscape that has endured fire, a landscape that has endured flood, and a landscape that has endured drought. We as humans have also endured those challenges. Most recently with the pandemic, we have endured the drought of not being able to be with other people. We are social organisms. The lack of human touch, the lack of being able to be with those people who are perishing and taking their last breaths. We have also endured floods, the flood of disease that has washed over this planet. Who would have thought 2 years ago that we would be in the situation we're in today? And we shall, like this landscape, also endure wildfire. Wildfire that it comes in the form of hatred, intolerance, and ugliness. This land, like my grandmother used to say, can teach us. If we listen very carefully to her, we can overcome these challenges, our own personal, societal, and natural droughts, fires, and floods. We welcome you again, and again, we want to thank everybody who made today's possible. And again, we are so fortunate because when you come back here 300 years from now, we hope to have a restored landscape. We hope also to reinstate wildlife corridors, perhaps wildlife bridges across Carmel Valley Road, across Highway 1 and other places, so that our natural wildlife can once again migrate from the Santa Lucias up to Jack's Peak, up to Fort Ord, and northward, as well as southward. I wish you well, I wish you health, and may you always walk in beauty. Thank you very much.
My name's Jackie Nelson, and Marie did an amazing job introducing California Wildlife Day, our 4th year in doing so, hosting events, and adjusting to a new climate, and showing resilience all the way through. Throughout the day, we will be celebrating with you, and Marie and I will be bantering back and forth in our jovial style, as well as telling informative, important messaging. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day and tomorrow.